Okay, good morning, everybody. We are live. It is Larsen Live. It is August 5th, 2023. How is everybody doing? The title of the stream is Barbenheimer, so naturally I opened up with Shredder's Suite from the original Ninja Turtles movie by John Duprez, because that makes a lot of sense. I was really tempted to actually do that Dua Lipa song from the Barbie movie, but I decided against it. It's been in my head far too long. I'm not going to re-enable that little earworm. But yes, there is also a new Ninja Turtles movie, because of course there is. There's always a new Ninja Turtles movie in theaters, and we'll talk about that in a little while. And we'll also talk about Barbenheimer in a little while. Speaking of looking at the chats, we see turtle-related nostalgia is afoot. C-Punk Messiah misses synth-heavy film scores. We all do. As Sean Baby put it, archaeologists 1,000 years from now will look in the in situ layers and the stratigraphy of modern American society, and they will be convinced that for a strange, 30 plus year period, our culture became obsessed with barbaric turtle sorcery. It's the only explanation. More crap. Even if only 10% of Ninja Turtles merchandise was crap, that's still more crap than any single entity has ever put into the earth. And there's a lot more crap than that. Ninja Turtles, the cheese stencil. But I digress. Let's talk about real news before we talk about silly childhood ephemera. Alright, so what was going on recently in New York City. There was shit going down in Union Square. What happened? Apparently, some Twitch streamer named Kai Cenat or some shit like that was giving away free merch. And naturally, that means rioting had to ensue. Let's look up what happened more specifically. Here I go. Yes, the Kai Cenat riot in Manhattan. Who is Kai Cenat? I have no idea. I don't know who this Twitch streamer is. I really don't understand why anybody watches any Twitch streamers, to be quite honest. I mean, from what I've gathered, Twitch streamers are usually either moderately attractive women who shove their tits in front of the camera because, oh my god, look, a girl playing video. Or they're just, barely sapient morons like Kai Cenat, doing stupid shit. Like, so yeah, there was some rioting going on. He was apparently giving away some merch, and people started losing their shit, jumping on roofs and cars, and causing a bit of a fuss. What was he giving away? It wasn't even anything good. He was giving away, video and video-related consoles. I don't know. First of all, you know my opinion of modern video games and that they suck. But, like, I don't know what video game is worth, rioting over. Kai Cenat did not have permission to have any sort of public gathering, and he was arrested with inciting a riot. Oh, and apparently, yes, there was video of the New York PD just straight up slamming a kid's head through the back windshield of a car. I mean, not that I'm particularly upset about fatherless youths getting their heads smashed through windows, because I'm not. And of course, with rioting comes a random dancing about, because of course there is. 60-year-old man says he was injured while trying to stop the teenagers from ransacking his hot dog stand during the Kai Cenat fan riot. And I hate to say it, but I question the narrative that the people are so afraid of the police when I see them literally dancing about and Twitch streaming in front of the cops. So how afraid are these people really? They don't look afraid to me. Yes, multiple injuries and arrests occurred. Multiple area businesses have closed up, but apparently Kai Cenat has been released and put back on the streets. Yes, so apparently he didn't even give away any PlayStation 5s. That's a shame. Okay, we got some comments here. Pony Throat says Shredder was a cool character. I wonder how the new movie portrayed him. Probably not as bad as Colonel Schrader. I don't even know what you're referring to. Is that from the Bay Turtles? I don't know. I feel like when I heard that there was a new Ninja Turtles coming out, I was just thinking, wasn't there a Ninja Turtles that came out like 2 days ago? Is this... I feel like this is how our culture dies, just endless reboots of Ninja Turtles and Batman. Ian Kempster says they should make a Shredder movie. Actually, you know who would be a really interesting sort of villain movie? Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe. Because if you read the original Larry Hama comics, he was like a used car salesman who just got dicked over by government regulations, so he became this extreme, minarchist terrorist who's going to overthrow the government because of that. That's actually pretty sympathetic, I feel. Ponythroat says the news described the Kai Cenat riot as young hooligans take over Union Square. I want to put on the Die Hard 3 sandwich board that says I hate young hooligans. Yes, I also hate young hooligans. Ponythroat also says if they had streaming platforms in the 20s, I would get a camera and record a Twitch stream. Indeed, the hemp Twitch. Ian Kempster says, wow, the youth today have such a sense of entitlement, zero respect for any kind of hard work. Yes, they sure do. The thread I'm reading has a discussion from a veteran NYPD officer. He seemed exhausted. It's just crazy. New York isn't like what it used to be. No, it's been like this for quite a while, sir. Like, quite a while. But at least back in the 70s when you had like the Warriors and stuff, there was a little bit of dignity about it. At least they weren't doing that shit in the daytime. Yes, but the children are so scared of the police that they're dancing and popping, locking, and bumping and grinding in front of them. They're terrified. Somebody says it best. The events that led to this situation, something about a YouTuber giving away a PS5, is pretty damning, for the riots are the voice of the unheard narrative. These people are not angry, they're just bored and entitled. Yes. Okay. Ponythroat says, in the G.I. Joe movie, the animated one from the 80s, Cobra Commander was an actual lizard person from the Underground Kingdom. Yes, Cobra La. Anyway, yeah, I don't know who this Kai Cenat person is. He looks like a complete shit ass. My wife put it best. It looks like South Africa. Then she texted her mother. South Africa came to my new home. It sure did. Anyway, this is yet another example of what my weekends are like. I wake up to wonderful domestic bliss. My beautiful wife makes me breakfast, and then I turn on the Twitter machine, and just this shit just comes. Oh, she just got me coffee. Thank you, my love. Just endless goddamn horseshit outside of my home. Ponythroat asks, why would you even want a PS5? There ain't no games for that thing. Yes, I was about to say that. I don't know, there's no games out nowadays that are worth rioting over. I mean, frankly, there's very few games I would ever consider rioting over, to be quite honest. But no, we got to play our Fortnites or whatever the Rudy Tooty jump and shooty games are making nowadays. Ian Kempster says Cobra Commander movie. I'm sure it would be awesome. Yeah, why don't we just make villain movies out of all the children's IP villains? You do Cobra Commander. You could do Skeletor. I mean, I'm sure Mattel will be pulling all that out in the Mattel Cinematic Universe, but we'll get to that in a little while. What else is going on in the news? Oh yeah, speaking of my country-in-law, South Africa. Speaking of rioting, there was apparently a bit of a tiff that happened. In that there was some sort of public rally where they pulled out the old "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer" song, and apparently people had the audacity to be a little upset about this. And the New York Times helpfully informed us that it's metaphorical, guys. Actually, they don't really mean it. It's metaphorical. I don't agree. I mean, I'm just saying I can't imagine in 1938 if like the New York Times recorded a bunch of Nazis singing songs about killing Jews, they would argue that it's metaphorical. But that's just me. Seems a bit. Maybe you should take people at their word when they say it. And let's check out some comments here. Ian Kempster says villains are so much cooler. Heroes are all the same. Yes. Yes, they are. All right. Well, actually, the Soviet Union didn't really want to liquidate all the kulaks. It's just a figure of speech, man. I don't know. Personally, I I tend to take people at their word. But that's just me. But hey, ethnic-related mass murder is good, apparently. Okay, Ponythroat says, Horst Wessling intensifies. Yeah, that's kind of what my idea was saying. I mean, pretty sure the New York Times would not be down with, like, a bunch of neo-Nazis singing the Horst Wessel lead and saying, oh, it's just metaphorical, man. And meanwhile, load shedding continues in South Africa, and America is well on its way to being part of the funky cool rainbow coalition. Anyway, boy, the world sucks, doesn't it? Let's see what else is going on. There's actually a good amount of international news going on. Well, I mean, there's always international news going on. But, let's see what else is happening. On Twitter, the Supreme Court was trending. The United States Supreme Court? No. Pakistan Supreme Court. Because apparently Prime Minister Mark Wahlberg feels that he was illegally deposed, and he's fighting for something or other. I say as if I really know anything about what goes on in Pakistan. Let's check that out, as I was briefly distracted by Snoopy trending on Twitter. I enjoy his melancholy shenanigans. Anyway, the former PM of Pakistan, Imran Khan, has been sentenced to 3 years in prison, and once he gets out, he'll be disqualified from politics for 5 years afterwards. There were massive protests because of this, because apparently Prime Minister Wahlberg was very popular there. Obviously, I'm not going to dispute the will of the people there. Obviously, they're blaming everybody for the government that replaced him. They're blaming America. They're blaming India. I don't know. But, I wish the good people of Pakistan the best. I think America should not be involved in that, and that is that. Okay. Ian Kemster says the Soviet Union was probably one of the worst regimes in history. Yes, it was. Okay, my wife and Ponythroat have a bit of an argument about song lyrics. We're not going to get into that. Ian Kemster says something has to get worse before it gets better. Yeah, I think there's a lot of worsening that could happen in society, believe me. And again, I can't really say America should be going around chasing demons overseas. We have plenty of our own problems here, as you can see in the meme that just popped up on the meme reel. Does endless suck. Ponythroat says they might as well be blaming Mumra at this point. Yeah, I mean, Mumra's a piker. All right, let's see what else is going on in the news. Yeah, we have... let's leave the international news behind for a bit. Let's talk about what's going on in America, because it sucks. Okay, let's see. In Illinois, the governor of Illinois, Governor Pritzker, has just signed a bill which allows illegal immigrants to become police officers. Yes, really. I can't help but think this is probably a bad idea. I mean, then again, I can also point out this is probably something that empires do a lot. They take people from other parts of the empire and put them in other provinces to keep people under control, to, block any sort of, cultural solidarity. Yeah, overall, seems like a very bad idea. Okay. I would say this defies common sense, but then again, I actually care about the United States as a country, and clearly Governor Pritzker does not. Governor Pritzker is much like several people, actually many people in our government, who see the United States as just a big economic zone that can be exploited at will. So, in that regard, I guess it makes sense in a terrible, terrible sort of way. Hey, Ponythroat says, kill the Boer is just the word shoot, shoot, shoot repeated forever. It's like a song orcs would write. I didn't actually listen to it. I briefly read the article. I saw the New York Times kind of fumbling over it, and I can't say I approve all that much. Eh. But yeah, speaking of illegal immigration, yet another town of very, very rich people made a big spiel about welcoming illegal immigrants and then immediately changed their mind once they actually came. Edgewater residents, not Edgewater, New Jersey, which is near where I live, but somewhere else, Edgewater, Illinois. Edgewater residents raise alarm about temporary migrant shelter at the Broadway Armory Park. Yeah, I mean, they want sanctuary cities, just not just not here, like somewhere over there. Yeah. Also, New York City is also having massive amounts of illegal immigrants just kind of camping out on the streets. Mayor Eric Adams is just kind of saying somebody should do something, and nobody is doing anything as of yet. Might I also posit that, like, just opening the floodgates to millions of unskilled, uneducated, illegals might not be the wisest thing to do. I want to make something very clear. I am not against immigration on the whole. Just, unrestricted, untrammeled immigration seems like a bit of a bad idea. Hey, let's see, we got some comments here. No, we do not. That is wonderful. Yeah, a lot of little sound bites kind of going on in the world today. Not any like big stories that are happening, just little sound bites of things that might be a thing in the future, but not quite yet. Either things that happened already or things that might happen, but they're not kicking off just yet. A lot of little kibbles and bits here. See, let's move on. I guess now will be sort of where we go to the silly side of things. Well, not quite yet. Well, actually, the whole news cycle is just stupidity. So, yeah, let's see what we got here. We're just going to stagger back from America to international news and then international news back to the United States. Okay, so in athletic news, international athletic news, there was the World University Games, in which several collegiate athletes were participating in track and field. Basically, in this video here, I see several young ladies from various colleges, and then the president of the Somali Athletics Foundation sent his niece to the games this year. Unlike the other athletes from a wide variety of countries, the niece of the Somali Athletics Foundation is remarkably tubby, and she doesn't seem to know how to put her foot on the starting blocks for the 100-meter dash, and she kind of embarrasses herself. Like, I cannot conceive of anybody running this slow. Okay, so let's see. We got the race. It's a ladies' race, so the winner was a Brazilian lass who ran in 11:58, which is a lot faster than I could do probably. And then a full 12 seconds later, the Somalian woman makes it across the finish line. Shameful display. Again, I don't know why you would send this woman who's clearly not trained to the competition. But I guess I have to send somebody. And I have to say, wearing a headscarf probably doesn't do much for your aerodynamics. But then again, also, being potato shaped doesn't do much for your aerodynamics either. Yeah, not a good look, Somalia. I usually tend to associate Somalian people with, being able to run fast, but not this time. Might I suggest that if you're going to send a representative for an athletic competition, they should be, athletic? Ponythroat says they finally found something an overweight black woman can't do. Indeed. With the Women's World Cup going on, I figured it should be, something relevant to talk about, women's athletic competitions. It's been a while since I've been timed in any sort of run. The last time I checked, I never did a 100-meter timed, but I did time my mile once, and it was right under 6 minutes, like 5:58 or 5:59. So in my prime, I think I could run pretty fast. I'm not really a sprinter, but I could probably, I know for a fact I could run faster than this girl. Yes, dysfunctional governments occasionally do send utter incompetence to athletic competitions, and it's kind of amusing. Like in 1976, Haiti literally organized an Olympic team at the last minute. So the dictator of Haiti was one of the Duvaliers. It was either Francois or Jean Claude. I forget. It's either Papa Doc or Baby Doc, and I don't really bother. I'm not going to bother looking it up. Yeah. Anyway, at the last minute, he just sends his Tonton Makute, secret policemen to the Montreal Olympic Games. It took him a full half hour longer than everybody else to finish that 10K. The Tonton Makute, by the way, were secret policemen who were imbued with voodoo powers to terrorize the populace. Voodoo powers apparently do not give you stamina. Yeah, I would have thought they would, but I guess not. I'm almost tempted to say that, sorry, coughing up. I am almost tempted to say that every Olympic game or every sort of international Olympiad should have just a rando average person in the event as well, just so we can see how much better these Olympic athletes are than us, normies. Ian Kempster referring to the Uncle Knapsacks. They were vicious. Yes, they sure were. But they couldn't run for shit, so from a safe distance, I will point and laugh. Okay. In further news about society going down the shitter, a man who spent $20,000 transforming himself into a border collie steps out for his first ever walk in public. I am not joking. There was a man in a full-body dog suit. He's just taking a stroll. Some say 20,000, some say 14,000. A Japanese man has transformed himself into a canine after forking out $14,000 for a custom-made dog costume. The citizen, who goes by Toko online, says that this garment helps him actualize his dream of becoming an animal. Footage shared to Toko's YouTube channel, where he boasts more than 32,000 subscribers, show him in his costume as he frolics about on the lawn, rolls on the floor, and plays fetch. He is, as of now, going out into public as a dog for the first time. He admitted he was nervous and scared of venturing out in public. Yeah, you don't say. Apparently, this is a long-term thing he had. Even when he was in, elementary school, they had little yearbooks for graduation. He wrote that he wanted to be a dog and walk about outside. He always had vague dreams of becoming animals, and then he fulfilled that dream. Good show. Yeah, there's a picture of him being walked by some blonde girl. I don't know if this is like his wife or I say as if a guy like this would ever actually have a wife. I assure you he does not. Just some gaijin tourist, I guess. I guess. Yeah, this is I mean, he's not hurting anybody, I guess. And it's, it is remarkably realistic, but can I ask why? Okay. Got some comments here. Also, wow, there's a lot of people dropping out of this stream. Okay. Ian Kempster says, I think they should have the steroid Olympics. Yeah, I agree very much. There's a part of me which says, like, you should have, like, sports leagues that are just, like, one that's fully tested and one that's just, anything goes, steroids up the wazoo. I mean, the fact that you would probably have more viewers for the steroid league would offset the massive amounts of casualties you would have on court or on the field. One must have trade-offs. Okay. Pony Throat says they have to cancel the Special Olympics because it was too easy to cheat by pretending to be retarded. Yes, that tends to happen quite a lot. Ian Kempster says, what a weirdo, wanting to become a subservient animal. Again, I'm not going to say, like, I don't understand it, but, if you want to do it, you're not hurting anybody, so, go nuts. Just kind of go nuts over there where I don't have to see you. Ponythroat says, more wholesome than those leather dogs that the government, the news, and Home Depot wants to interact with your children. Yes. There's a lot of scary dog men about, and I can't say I approve of any of them. Shinseki Evan says, living in Japan will break your brain. I mean, Japan has its problems, certainly, but overall, I think they are much more functional than the United States. I mean, if the worst you can say about Japan is that, like, they study too much and they have weird dog men, I mean, at least they're not riding over PS5s. So, I can't complain that much. Okay, moving on. We're going to continue the silly side of things. We're going to go to, I presume, the UK, because the article refers to mums. And it says, Mum who joined OnlyFans after losing her job has been crying nonstop after trolls sent nude pictures to her family. I don't. Thank you for the coffee. Yes, I don't suppose you could have, like, gotten a normal job. Like, ladies, I know that, the temptation to have legions of simps, like, buying your bathwater is, tempting. I understand that. But just get a job at Tesco or something. Jesus. Again, like, do you not have a family? Like, do you not understand that your family might be traumatized by seeing you, spread eagling on the internets? OnlyFans should not be an option. I can't believe that, like, people sent these things to my family. Oh no, the consequences of your action. How terrible. I know, just personally, I couldn't really live with myself knowing that, like, the lady I was spanking it to had kids. I could not live with myself. That's, yeah. I mean, I guess I still have some speck of, like, dignity and human conscience. back, deep down there. Clearly, a lot of people don't. I mean, for God's sake, like even in Watchmen, like Rorschach restrains from beating the shit out of his landlady because her kids are there. But what do I know? I'm just a old man mentally. Alrighty. All right, so, and finally, before we get to the more pop culture side of things, breaking news has occurred in the United States. High school boys are trending to the right politically. And I quote from Our Feminism, "I'm not surprised, but I'm definitely frustrated by this. As somebody who works with youth, I see this trend too, and it's really frustrating. Not to make any, not to make any claims about which side of the political aisle is better or worse, but yeah, I can't say I'm terribly surprised by this. I mean, culturally, we've shifted far to the left, really in the past, 10 or 15 years. So are you surprised that kids are going to react to that? I mean, kids are always going to rebel against, what the, you know, castrating school marms tell them to do. And if the school marms are super to the left, the kids are going to go a little bit to the right. This should not be a surprise. Ian Kempster says, bath water, that's just gross. I mean, yeah, it's got like soap in it and stuff. I mean, I don't even know what they're doing with the bath water that these Insta thoughts and like OnlyFans thoughts are selling them. Do they drink it? Do they like bathe in it? Like, you just have it in your house? Occasionally sorry. Occasionally I idly think how much easier my life would be if I was a beautiful girl on the internets. I could sell like used toilet paper and bathwater, and I could just make that Skrilla. But sadly, I can't. I am a not particularly attractive man. Yeah, well, some people have it made, but I don't. All right, and finally, in the silly side of things, I've said and finally about 5 times. Uh, yeah, apparently there's Mountain Dew hot dogs. Uncured beef franks with a blast of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. I become very slightly more ashamed of being an American citizen. I don't know why anybody wants soda flavored hot dogs. The label goes on. Contains no artificial preservatives or flavors except for those naturally occurring in Mountain Dew. Yes, the natural occurrence of Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew just flows from the glacial lakes and the mountaintops in rivers. I mean, that's where I get my Mountain Dew, right? I mean, I've heard of dirty water hot dogs, but that's ridiculous. It's. Boy, sometimes I really hate this country. Uh, it's. And to think that last week I was talking about Mitt Romney not eating any hot dogs. I mean, to be fair, I don't know what kind of hot dogs they have in Illinois or wherever the hell he pretends to be from. He's one of those, rootless cosmopolitan types who just goes wherever he can make a profit. But yeah, he refuses to eat peasant food like hot dogs. I mean, if it's hot dogs like this that are available, I don't blame him. Anyway, I just want to convey to my European audience, if I have any, that no, we don't eat this dog shit in the United States. I don't. Would it be wrong if I like went into a convenience store and just started like throwing these garbage hot dogs on the ground and like destroyed them? Oh, and of course, in the Twitter thread, there's a picture of Movie Bob's Mountain Dew marinated chicken. I don't, I don't understand why soda and meat should be ever mixed together. I mean, I personally wouldn't myself. But yeah, like in the back in the day, like God help me, I'm actually gonna praise the actions of like hatchet-faced school marms, but yeah, they used to storm into places and like smash up beer kegs and stuff. Like, would it be wrong if I did the same to like Mountain Dew flavored hot dogs? I just started throwing them out and doing some kind of you know food related protest. Okay, my wife, looking at the comments here, says he lies. He's incredibly attractive. Yeah, well, I'm not attractive enough to sell like snot rags and bathwater to simps. I mean, say what you will about women, but like women are smarter than men in this regard. Like they don't simp for like weird internet people like men do. I mean, perhaps it has to go back to the fundamental biological cheapness of sperm versus the expensiveness of ova. Men will just kind of spew their jizz every which way, and women can be pickier. You know, basically, humans are still essentially, you hunter gatherers living in the jungle, sort of physiologically, and a lot of people are just not mentally prepared for the modern day. So, in this sort of primeval, like amygdala sense, a lot of these internet simps are like, if I send her money and I buy her fart jars, like, she'll touch my pee pee. It's not going to happen. Okay, Ian Kempster says, I like hearing the youth moving to the right. The pendulum has been so far left, it's nice to see some semblance of sanity coming back. Indeed. That's really what I feel. If, you know, if the culture and the school marms and the teachers swing far to the left, there's going to be some blowback. Shinseki Evans says Movie Bob is all over those wieners. Yeah, he sure is. I mean, I'm surprised Movie Bob doesn't make his own Mountain Dew hot dogs. He makes Mountain Dew chicken. Or maybe he makes his hot dogs with other soda in his great wall of diabetes he has blocking his basement apartment window. Ian Kempster agrees with me in that Mountain Dew hot dogs sound pretty nasty. Yeah. Pony Throat then suggests we can make hot dog flavored soda to maintain balance of the universe. Well, last year I did a story about how Oscar Mayer is apparently making meat flavored seltzer, so maybe we should ask them about it. Ian Kempster says he hates Mountain Dew. They had that flavor of Slurpee, and I got sick of it so fast. Mountain Dew is. I don't know how you could, like, bottle the flavor of green, but somehow Mountain Dew did it. It's literally just neon green in liquid form. Like, that's the only way you can describe its taste. It is just green. It's not, lemon or lime. It's just green. Mm. Ponythroat says the kiwi stuff on Movie Bob's chicken is almost as weird as the Mountain Dew marinade. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I'm going to see if I can find that. Okay. I think I saw the picture there. Let's see. Where is that Movie Bob chicken? Yeah, so I'm looking at the picture here. Yeah, it's a roasted whole chicken marinated 3 days in Mountain Dew, stuffed with lemon, limes, and kiwis, olive oil, salt, and pepper rub. Yeah, I mean, I don't know kiwi. Can't imagine kiwi going well with chicken either. Okay, Ian Kempster says, I think Mitt Romney should run again for president now that he has a better chance of winning the election. Nobody would have been able to beat Obama at that time. I mean, I don't really care for Mitt Romney much. He's a little too Mr. Burns for me. Then again, I also have some issues with the Mormons, but never mind that. Anyway, in conclusion, folks, don't marinate your meat in soda. Ponythroat says CWC's Mountain Dew Me shirt. That is all. Yes, Chris Chan's escapades with sodas are well documented, and we'll leave it at that. Ponythroat says the kiwi would be brown goop that long. Yeah, I mean, just use the juice. Like, don't leave the fruit in there. Daphne says she agrees with Ian Kempster, but then again, American soda just tastes terrible overall. Well, just the mainstream sodas that have, the high fructose corn syrup. I mean, you could get like Dr. Brown's or something that uses real cane sugar. Yeah, there's a lot of reckoning that has to be paid by the food manufacturers in this country. Like a lot of reckoning. Okay, I think that does it for the news, like the news per se. Now we're going to get to the pop culture news. Yes, as the title of the stream implies, me and the wife, we did go to see the double feature of Oppenheimer and Barbie. Barbenheimer, if you will. What do I have to say about it? Well, to be honest, I think Oppenheimer was better. Uh, yes, Oppenheimer was really good. I recommend it. My favorite genre of film, if it can be called a genre, is great men being destroyed by their art, so to speak, to the extent that nuclear physics can be considered an art. Yeah, I love that shit. Yeah, like I will watch, on repeat, I'll watch Whiplash, The Whole Wide World, Love and Mercy, and Oppenheimer. Great men being destroyed by what made them great. Good stuff. Barbie had some good ideas, but didn't quite execute them well, I feel. It started out good, it kind of petered out towards the end there. Uh, I mean, mainly the issue I had with it was that I feel like the satire of gender roles in modern America, it could have been much, much harsher, and it didn't go far enough, in my opinion. But it did have things I liked. I liked the Ken's violently, not violently, but bloodless coup asserting patriarchy in Barbie Land. That was all about that. Uh, I again, considering the absolute dismal state of sex relations in modern America, you could have done so much more. And if I like, for example, if I was writing the movie, which clearly I would have done because the person they would have hired to write the Barbie movie is a, lusty, swaggering 32-year-old man. Like, here's what I would have done. The villain of the movie, so to speak, is Will Ferrell as the CEO of the Mattel Corporation, who is portrayed as being, essentially buffoonish but well-meaning. See, me, I would have gone much harsher. Like, I would have made Will Ferrell's character like a sort of, Bruce Jenner or like Larry Wachowski, sort of like aggressive, high IQ, like, autogynephiliac transgender who's essentially using his new position to bully cis women. And yeah, I would have literally had Will Ferrell play it like Mr. Mugatu or like the Get on the Shed guy from Saturday Night Live, just screaming and acting crazy. I mean, that would have been much more relevant. It would have hit harder, and that would really say something that society needs. But alas, it was not to be, and the movie was not nearly as good as it should have been. So yeah, my overall scores for the movie: Oppenheimer like a 8.5, Barbie like a 5. Maybe a 6 if I was feeling really generous. Oppenheimer could probably get like a 9 if I was feeling generous, but I'm usually not. I mean, it's it was a good night out, all things considered. We did go to one of those fancy theaters that has food, and we had a nice dinner there as well. Okay, we got some comments here about soda. Ian Kempster says in Canada we have Jones soda made with cane sugar, and it's awesome. Yeah, we have Jones's soda here too. You have to kind of go to like specialty stores to get it. But yeah, I do like Jones when I have it. Pony Throat says the best soda he ever had was a Fanta in one of those old style cans that has a sharp piece of metal when open. Ah, one of those pull tabs. I don't know where it was from. The label was in Arabic, I think. Yeah, I didn't even know like where you're even finding like soda that has those pull tabs. I thought those went out in like the 80s. Hey, my wife says 5 was too high of a score for Barbie. Yeah, I feel like I honestly kind of liked them more than she did. Again, it's probably just because I was imagining like a much like darker, harder hitting movie in my head. Like I would, like I was like I found it really funny how like the Kens basically recreated like the early 2010s manosphere once they took over, and they were talking about like you know like Kino and weightlifting and stuff, and actually they remarkably raised the intellectual level of Barbie Land once they took over, but that's neither here nor there. But it was still, a raised intellectual level dedicated to simping. But yeah, solid 5. Had good ideas, were not executed particularly well. I hate to keep saying like I should script doctor things, but yeah, I really should script doctor things. And of course, what with it being a Ryan Gosling movie, there's already tons of people on Twitter doing the literally me thing, talking about how it's literally like modern sex roles, and perhaps it is. Ponythroat says, did the movie accurately portray Ken as a good-looking man whose only personality is being vaguely gay? Yes, it did actually. That's exactly what he was portrayed like. Until he goes to the real world and sees, manly men doing manly things and becomes inspired in the most, facile, surface level way. Yeah, so see Oppenheimer in theaters, maybe wait for Barbie to show up on like video on demand or some such, if you're gonna watch it at all. Anyway, yeah, the Mattel Cinematic Universe, that's apparently still going ahead. I'm seeing a lot of talk of Hungry Hungry Hippos, the movie, which I actually feel might work if you did Hungry Hungry Hippos as like a hard R like horror movie about like realistically portrayed hippos on violent rampages. I mean, that would like legit scare the shit out of me if they were to do it. I don't know if the MCU, the Mattel Cinematic Universe, would do so, but again, that's what I would do. Of course, studios are taking the absolute wrong lesson from the success of Barbenheimer. Like they're already trying to do like a portmanteau meme of the new Saw movie and the new Paw Patrol movie. Herdy Dur, it's Saw Patrol. Yeah, guys, it's not going to work again. You can't just mishmash, unrelated movies together and just expect, meme success every time. It's, lightning in a bottle, guys. You can't capture it again. Ponythroat says Lizzo should be in the Hungry Hungry Hippos movie. Again, hard R horror movie about violent hippo rampages. Hey, my wife says, how dare women expect an empowering movie based on a toy that freed us from being overwhelmed by the expectation of us being the property of a man when we grow up? Oh, I was just joking. Again, good ideas. There was good stuff in the Barbie movie, just wasn't executed well. Honeythroat says Paw Patrol is a franchise exclusively enjoyed by creepy 40-year-old men. I was not aware of such a thing. I literally only know it from that one Saw Patrol meme they're trying to force, and it's not happening. Okay, let's see. What else is happening? Yeah, so there was a bunch of failure all around In pop culture, uh, there was the new Marvel Secret Invasion show, and apparently it really sucked. And the people running the show said that the fans' expectations were too high. Secret Invasion director says Marvel fans have too many expectations. I mean, God forbid that we expect, good storytelling and acting. I mean, can't have that apparently. But yeah, go back on strike, writers. You deserve all the money. I don't know how this happened. Like we keep making mediocre horseshit, and we just keep losing money. Boing. I don't know how that happened. Okay. Now we finally come to the story that pertains to the music I opened up the stream with. There's a new Ninja Turtles movie, and apparently it's getting good reviews, but I've heard that it sucked, so who knows. I'm not going to watch it. I so don't care at this point. I opened up with Shredder's Suite by John Duprez, which is a much better song from a much better Ninja Turtles movie. So apparently the big deal about this one is that they tried to make April O'Neil grounded and relatable in the real world, which of course means making her a potato-shaped chud, because, obviously a stacked redhead has never happened in the history of the world. And also apparently, like, I keep hearing rumors about Splinter being gay or something, which can't say I'm down with that. Yeah, I don't understand why, like, in the progressive mindset, it's like relatable and grounded means just make everybody really fat and ugly. Like, there are attractive people in the world. It's like, I know that the people who make these movies are, probably not the most attractive people, but just imagine for a second that not everybody has to look like you. Let's see. Yeah, I will not be seeing Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Yeah. Ponythroat says 0 out of 10 did not have Venus de Milo. Shinseki Evans says Splinter makes out with Scumbug, a disgusting cockroach of dubious gender. Oh, great. So it's not, he's not gay per se. He's just doing the business with the gender non binary. Well, that makes it better then. I don't know. I'm sure that, like, in the next 6 months when they try to reboot Ninja Turtles again, they'll make it even worse. Yeah, Hollywood, please stop making Ninja Turtle shit. Like, stop rebooting things. Please take the right lesson from the Barbenheimer phenomenon in that people want, like, original stories. I'm talking about Oppenheimer specifically. They want original stories and not just endless rebooted horseshit. But of course, no, we're not going to get that. We're going to get Hungry Hungry Hippos, the movie, instead. Anyway, that does it for my prepared remarks. Say your last pieces in the next minute or so. And it doesn't look like anybody has anything to say. So, for Larsen Halleck, this has been Larsen Halleck. All of you have a good day. Oh, wait. Shinseki Evan says, what's your thought about Pee Wee Herman's life and death? Oh, geez, yeah. How could I forget about that? Yes, Paul Rubens died, and it's very sad. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Paul Rubens, despite, the public masturbation thing. But other than that, good man. Pee Wee Herman with some entertaining stuff. Yes, rest in peace, Paul Rubens. Not Peter Paul Rubens, of course, the painter of fat women, but Paul Rubens. I was actually going to open up the stream with tequila, of course, commemorating Pee Wee's epic dance routine in Pee Wee's Big Adventure, but yeah, we didn't do that. Jeez, how can I forget that? Good move, Larsen. You forgot about Pee Wee Herman's death. Yes, rest in peace, Pee Wee. Rest in peace. All right, so now I'm officially done. Now you can say your last pieces if you desire. All right, so now I will say for Larsen Halleck, I'm Larsen Halleck. All of you have a good day. Again.